Peace to the family, So Conscious TV, Brother Cooper's Bass, we back again. Alright, me and Ralph Bass was just having a conversation and shit. And he was just talking about all these rappers trying to be like Pac and shit like that. So I'm like, yeah, man, we need to, I couldn't just leave this topic alone. You know what I'm saying? It's so deep. When bro said it's deeper than rap, like, man, it's deeper than rap. Like, it goes deep. So let me try to address is Tupac dead situation. This from my belief. I believe Tupac is dead because first of all, where is he at? Second, it'd be hard for Tupac to stay quiet for that long. Come on, man. This is Tupac. And shit. Third, look at all the people that died around him. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to get into, man. Part 2, we gonna talk about Kadafi. You know what I'm saying? But that was Tupac's brother. So Kadafi actually seen the white caddy pull up and pull out the gun and start dumping. He tells Las Vegas police this, that he sees dude. He at least see the driver and the shooter. But the way he described it, it ain't Orlando Anderson. See, this dude had a hat on and was dark skinned, and he said he looked like a bitch. He made sure he said that. Like, he said that a couple times. He said he looked like a bitch. So, with that being said, man, alright, let's get into Kadafi's death. You know what I'm saying? 3 months after Pac, you know what I'm saying? We got the actual witness to the murder. He gets killed. You know what I'm saying? And the way he gets killed is a funny way, you know what I'm saying? So let's I'm trying to dive into this. So, I think this, here. Let's check this out right quick.
When you and I spoke last time, we talked about the situation of how Kadafi got killed.
Yes. So my cousin, I introduced Kadafi to my cousin. I introduced them together, and they became friends. They started building their own relationship even without me, you know. At that particular time, it was known in New Jersey where a lot of youngsters was getting high off of pills. I'm not sure what type of pills they was taking, but everyone was dumping pills, you understand? My little cousin Roddy, he also never would leave, he always had a gun on him, you know what I mean? And imagine an individual who's not in his right mind. He probably was 13, 14, 15 years old, always high, playing with...
Okay. He's always high. He's popping pills. He always got a gun on him. Alright, I mean, he ain't building his character up too good. If we gonna be honest, we're gonna keep it 100.
You know, he said that he was playing with the gun, pointed it in the face of Kadafi, and the gun accidentally went off. I think Kadafi died in November, if I'm not mistaken. October I left. October I went to Atlanta. And I told Kadafi before I left, we need to get out of there. I think I got arrested, and I seen myself getting into some trouble. So I told Kadafi, man, we need to get out.
Alright, he got arrested. He got compromised. He's put in a bind. He got to do something. Somebody got to work with the police. So,
this stuff that Kadafi did that I ain't really saying, I'm not going to say now.
No,
you know what I mean? That he was like, man, I saw him putting in some work. And I was like, Kadafi, we need to leave. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, no problem, go to Atlanta. I'm going to meet you down there. I got out of Jersey because Jersey, it was a very bad, tough situation. But before I left, I introduced Kadafi to my little cousin. Kadafi and my cousin, they used to like to pop pills. You know what I mean? This was a time when the youngsters in Jersey used to get high by popping pills. So they automatically clicked because they had something in common. Me, the only thing I used to do back then was drink. I wasn't into anything else. So they would hang all day, pop their pills.
Well, he just dry snitched again. About popping pills. Yeah, him and Kadafi, they popping pills together. So he's trying to get his little cousin out, but
pills do what they had to do, and they was sticking with each other. So it wasn't like my cousin took a gun to go to Gaddafi's house and to kill him. He always had a weapon on him. And not only that, my cousin told me they was playing, my friend Kaz had Kadafi in a headlock. And my cousin...
Family. His man got Kadafi in a headlock.
They horse playing.
Is a horse playing? You got me in a headlock and this nigga got a gun out. Alright, he said, okay. Alright, you believe it.
Pointed the gun at his face and it accidentally went off. That's enough. I don't see how an individual would shoot a gun while his friend is behind him holding him purposely.
In a headlock.
You understand? So when I spoke to my little cousin, I went to Jersey and I spoke to my little cousin what happened. He told me it was an accident. My grandfather met, I didn't even know this. Seth told me when I seen Seth a few years ago that even before I met with my cousin, my grandfather met in a hotel with Seth, with Kadafi moms. I don't know if Faye was there, but with Kadafi family was Seth and all of them was there. My grandfather was like, what do you want us to do with him? You understand? My grandfather said the same thing to Seth and them. They said, well, we want him, Yacht mother, Kadafi mother said, well, we want him to turn himself in. And my grandfather said, well, at least give him one day to spend time with his kids, but I promise he will be in jail. So not only was myself telling him, man, just turn yourself in, my family wasn't backing that. My family was supporting him to go turn yourself in. You know what I mean?
When we found out Kadafi had got shot, we was at Fanny's house. We was on the floor asleep. I get the call from one of the homegirls that was a friend of Kadafi's girl at the time, you know what I mean, and telling us. So immediately, you know, we knew what happened. She said he did it. They came to the house. They was in the hallway, and it was just like, you know, it was just hard to believe the whole accident thing, because you know when it happened,
it's hard for him to believe.
Off, you know, and left. So when the girls heard the shot and opened the door, you know, he was there. You know what I mean?
Like my little cousin said, we was kids. He said when we shot him, I didn't know what to do. That's the first time I ever shot someone.
Hold on, pause, man. Cause I can't even play this whole video. When we shot him, man, come on, man. Stop playing with me, man. He said when we shot him. Says little cousin said when we shot him. Dude is holding him in the headlock. They came to rob him. Or something.
It was on some other shit.
That was some other shit. That was some whole other shit. 3 months.
Definitely.
They never got to re-interview. Bro, that's his brother. That's his brother. So this is
message.
All right, hold on, cause let me set this up. This is Kadafi mom, Yasmynn Fuller. Now she saw this interview and she went off, bro. So this is J Mix show, man. Y'all go check out J Mix. He'll be on top of this Tupac shit too. But he's gonna read the post. You know what I'm saying? Like the Facebook post.
To the crows, formerly known as the outlaws. When crows descend upon a carcass or attack the weak or injured of their flock, it's called murder of the crows. In a pitiful attempt to stay relevant, these three crows are doing just that upon the carcass of my deceased son, Yafu, Kadafi, Fula, and Tupac Shakur. So I've officially renamed the remaining outlaws to the Crows. At no time did any of them reach out to me and say, we are discussing Kadafi in an interview and want you to know that. At no time has Muta reached out to me to offer anything regarding pain and suffering of my family, any admission of responsibility of his cousin, given the fact that Yafu is responsible for him having any ounce of credibility. Instead, this continued exploitation and capitalization of his murder. This, despite the fact that I and my son lifted him up from his circumstances. I responded to his 100 phone calls begging me to be a part of Tupac's group and made sure that Tupac met him. I did this, not Yafu, me. Despite the fact that Muta has admitted on numerous occasions this was murder, he continues to capitalize upon the notoriety that brings accreditation to his Arab handlers and media attention by America's slanderous and corrupt social media. Please BBC attached Mutah's emotionally detached admission delivered at a place and time unknown. The same goes for Noble, who knew Tupac for only 2 months, if that much, who thinks he is the spokesperson, the keeper of the flame, of the revolutionary Tupac Shakur and his beloved brother Yafu. Ad nauseum, he wears a shirt of the revolutionary Che Guevara while bamboozling the fans into thinking he is appointed as representative of our revolutionary legacy. Not one of these crows dares to acknowledge the bond of love and devotion between Tupac and Yafu, but instead go on social media discussing Kadafi'S death like they are reading from a script, promoting their own irrelevance and disastrous music. They are the whores of Hollywood who have made careers deceiving the fans as to their merit and commitment to the principles my sons died for. They creep around in desperation trying to stay, commenting on subject matter they've absconded from, addressing 20 years ago, and now dare to revisit at great harm to myself and my family. I have asked them repeatedly not to speak my son's name. Instead, they dare to do an interview with a family member whose cousin murdered Yafu. Number 1. My son was murdered by Roddy Beal, Mutah's cousin. Make no mistake, it was murder. Mutah's family threatened all the witnesses and folks willing to come forward to testify that Roddy had threatened Yaki. Roddy even called the house where Yaki was and told the people he was coming, but don't tell Yafu. He and his accomplice, Kadir Way, pled guilty to manslaughter and received light sentences because the prosecutors had no witnesses. My son was buried under a shroud of lies which Mutah and his family perpetuated. He fooled the world by claiming that his cousin made a mistake, despite privately admitting he was a notorious pillhead, pulling guns on people and unstable. He chose to support his cousin, listening only to his version of what happened. He made his choice. You can't have it both ways. Either you stand for the truth or you stand for the lie. You supported a murderer and now dare try to encourage interviewing your cousin. Why? To advance your ratings? Why not make him an outlaw or murder of Crow member? That'd be quite fitting. To stay relevant with your Arab handlers? It required some measure of coverage to investigate and not just rely on his cousin. We investigated. We know what happened. Mutah participated in the cover-up, left the group, went to Saudi Arabia, leaving all to deal with the fallout of death and pain. Now he comes back, an international hero, claiming rights of respect he does not deserve. I never blamed him for my son's killing. My son loved Mutah. I blame him for participating in a cover-up which resulted in the lies today. Mutah knows it was murder and has even stated so in numerous insulting speeches, like his life with Tupac. See attached. Murder is not the same as accident. You cannot have it both ways. As far as the outlaws or crows, go get a real job, you bottom feeders, and stop pimping my son and pimping Tupac. You both are irrelevant. Your music's a disaster and a disgrace. Noble would have never been here but for the arrest of Fatal at the House of Blues in 1996. Apparently he filled in. You are not even a rapper. You fell into this role by default because your rap skills are a joke. I never understood why the estate didn't have you go take a seat. Guess they were preoccupied in silencing the more credible of this legacy whose stories were not up for sale. Me. Your skills are mediocre, and when I hear you rap, I feel like my nails are scraping against a chalkboard. Had Tupac lived, I am sure, based on his comments to me, you would have been eased out. It is as if in this interview you cannot say my name. Stop saying Kadafi'S mom. I am the true keeper of the flame of both Kadafi and Tupac. Say my name. Yasmynn. Edie. Pretty surprised, but not surprised at you. Moo didn't do it. When was that ever an issue? The issue was honor, principle, integrity, and standing up for what really happened. You showed 20 years ago you lacked the balls to ask relevant questions regarding Kadafi's murder, and today you continue to ride the Tupac gravy train, trying to stay relevant, sell records. We know you're a broke ass. Get a damn job. Stop throwing up signs you're too old. Tupac was recruiting all of you for the work to build a movement for justice and truth. To strike a blow against mass incarceration, unemployment, misogyny, and build constructs in the community for the empowerment of black people. He chose international monikers for all because he was a global visionary connected to the world. Do you know what's going on in Uganda? After all, you were named after Idi Amin because you were overweight and obviously adhered to the same corrupt behavior. I guess Tupac saw more than I, even though I helped pick out the names. Shaking my head. This wasn't about your personal paychecks, which is what you've turned this into. A damn paycheck. All of you psychopaths feed on his corpse. Tupac was a revolutionary whose greatest flaw was associating with such losers as you and the other no-names, too many to mention, who ride the Tupac gravy train daily. Why continue to claim relevance by discussing my son? Why couldn't any of you say, wow, we don't need to broach this subject out of respect for Yasmynn? You couldn't even say my name until the end. I am Kadafi's mom. The slap in the face and the debacle of not being allowed to perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is indicative of your irrelevance. You and Noble should have sat down long time ago, but now you bring shame to our families, and not just mine. None of you should have been on the stage. Not T.I., not Snoop, not Mopreme.
Oh man, so yeah, she gave them the business. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to decipher the real from the fake, man, you know what I'm saying? This is straight from Kadafi's mom. You know what I'm saying? She gave them fools hell. Yeah, but man, peace to the family, man. Y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification button. Peace, peace.